Hello, I am Dr. Stacey Hall, NCS4 Executive Director and Professor of Sport Management. Welcome to the NCS4 Research Seminar Series latest edition. We are pleased to host today's speaker, Mr. Charlie Woodrum, a warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Charlie has led the Shreveport, Louisiana office as acting meteorologist in charge for extended periods from 2020 to 2022. During this time, the office encountered several tornado outbreaks, two major inland hurricanes across Louisiana, Laura and Delta, and the 2021 Arctic outbreak. Charlie led the Lightning Safety Modernization team and helped establish NOAA's lightning safety criteria for outdoor venues, including the development of lightning safety resources and the toolkit for outdoor venues. He has worked with many sporting organizations, such as the NCAA, Major League Baseball, National Football League, and Major League Soccer. Welcome, Charlie, and thank you for presenting on this important topic of lightning safety.
All right, and thank you for having me today. I'm excited to present to you guys and share all the different lightning safety information that we have. We've done some exciting new updates to the Lightning Safety Toolkit and plans for venues to make when weather threatens their venues. So we're going to be going through the topic today of lightning safety for outdoor venues. And as Stacey mentioned, I'm the warning coordination meteorologist for the National Weather Service in Shreveport, Louisiana. The National Weather Service has 122 offices all across the country, and we're one of those. But worked on a national team with experts and meteorologists all across the country in the National Weather Service to develop this lightning safety plan. And we're really excited about rolling this out. We rolled out the update in January, and with the summer coming up here, lots of thunderstorms threatening venues, this is a good time to really clean up your lightning safety plan, or if you don't have one, to make one. So excited about that. I'm the warning coordination meteorologist here, which is the position at a National Weather Service office that does a lot of the outreach from preparedness and partner engagement. They're often the outward facing person that interfaces with the media and emergency management. I'll be going on to Pueblo, Colorado as the meteorologist in charge, which is the leader and supervisor of a National Weather Service office. So getting into our topics to be covered for today, we're going to cover lightning basics, some shocking statistics, NOAA's lightning safety guidelines, the elements of a lightning safety plan for a venue, our recognition process, and then I'm going to take you through a demonstration of how to make a lightning safety plan using the generator. So how does lightning form? What happens is when you have a cloud that develops and grows taller and taller and taller as it condenses with moisture, it actually gets cooler aloft. The atmosphere gets colder and colder the higher you get up in the atmosphere. So as that cloud grows, the water molecules that are inside of it, the moisture, it actually freezes into ice particles. So what happens is the ice particles collide with each other, and that induces an electrical charge. So in step one, you see the electrical charges. The positive charges go to the top of the cloud. The negative charges go to the bottom of the cloud. In step two, what happens is the negative charges, typically at the bottom of the cloud, will look for positive charges on the ground, and they'll connect. So they'll look for the tallest object. Lightning tends to strike the tallest object because that's the easiest way for the negative charges to connect with the positive charges. And that's when you then get your lightning strike. And then you'll see several return strokes once that lightning path is developed. That's where you can see multiple flashes in that same lightning path. So the positive charges that go out of the top, those can actually make a different type of lightning strike called a bolt from the blue. So here's the different types of lightning. You can get cloud to ground, which is from the cloud, from the thunderstorm, straight down to the ground. That's where most of the lightning fatalities occur, and about 90% of the lightning strikes we have are from negative strikes, cloud to ground, and those are the ones that lead, obviously, to all of our fatalities, are cloud to ground strikes. And then you have cloud to cloud strikes or intra-cloud strikes within clouds. And then, as I referenced, you have the bolts from the blue. And a bolt from the blue comes out of the side of the top of a thunderstorm, and it can go actually 15 to 20 miles from a thunderstorm. and strike. And we actually have seen lightning fatalities from bolts from the blue. Most lightning strikes, cloud to ground strikes, occur within 5 miles of a thunderstorm. But we can get these further away at times. So something to consider when planning for an event. There's some lightning myths out there that I want to make sure that we dispel. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. Think of the Empire State Building. Lightning tends to strike the tallest object. The Empire State Building has been struck many, many times because it's one of the tallest buildings in the New York City skyline. So you don't want to be in high places when lightning threatens. Another myth is that it's the rubber tires on a car that protect you from lightning. That's not true. It's actually the metal frame of the vehicle that creates what's called a Faraday cage all the way around you. And so when lightning strikes a vehicle, it actually hits that metal and then goes all the way around you. The rubber tires have nothing to do with what keeps you safe in a vehicle. Another myth is that lightning is attracted to metal. So that's not true. Actually, what it is lightning tends to strike the tallest object. A lot of times that might be a metal pole, but metal is a conductor of lightning and a conductor of electricity. So you want to stay away from metal when lightning threatens, because if it strikes part of that metal, that electricity will quickly move through it and induce an electrocution and a shock. So another myth is that baseball dugouts are completely safe, and they're not, because they're actually partially open. So you'll see a lot of teams that get into their dugouts when there's a lightning delay, and they actually need to go indoors and go inside a fully enclosed structure with walls on all sides. So any kind of structure, maybe it's underneath some bleachers that's partially open, that's not completely safe. You need to be in a building, ideally that's grounded, that it has walls on all sides to be completely safe. So to give you an idea of where the lightning fatalities generally tend to occur with lightning strikes across the country, and this matches up pretty closely with where most of the lightning strikes are across the country, you'll see most of the fatalities occur in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area particularly is where what we consider to be the lightning capital, so to say. But there's also lots of other areas too. A couple other hot spots on this map, you'll notice the Washington, D.C. up to New Jersey, New York, metro area, metroplex, pretty much very highly populated area there. There's lots of lightning fatalities there, lots of people with thunderstorms, particularly in the summer months. And then you'll also notice a few other hot spots in higher population areas, and also some wilderness areas too. Out in Colorado, you can see that hot spot out there for people that are outdoors, hiking, mountain climbing, getting involved in different outdoor activities. So those are at risk for lightning strikes and fatalities as well. So taking a look at the lightning fatalities, we had several lightning fatalities in 2022. I'll go year by year specifics here shortly, but you can see it can happen in any state. There was a lightning fatality in California. So even though lightning doesn't occur as frequently out west in California, there was a lightning fatality out there. Most of the fatalities, as I mentioned, happen in the southeast, in Florida, and in the mid-Atlantic region, but they can occur anywhere. So we all have to take precautions for lightning. Looking at the fatalities, there were 19 fatalities in the United States in 2022. And as of the time of this graphic, April 20th, there were 2 lightning fatalities thus far in 2023. You can see in general, year to year, we go a range from 11 in 2021 all the way up to 40 lightning fatalities in 2016. But the good news is the numbers have gone down for the annual average of lightning fatalities. That number is now closer to 30 as we look back over the past 10, 15 years now. So that's definitely good news, and that number continues to go down here over the years. But we have to keep people educated. We have to keep people knowing what to do when lightning is approaching this isn't something we can get complacent on. Another thing to point out is you'll notice that the female fatalities are in the lighter blue and the male fatalities are in the darker blue. So you can see a much larger percentage of the fatalities that occur are with males. And it's actually about 85% of lightning fatalities occur with males versus females. Why is that? It has to do with outdoor activities and also this mentality of I'm outside, but I'll be fine. Kind of that feeling people get to say, you know what, I can do this. I'm not worried about this thunderstorm. So you see that more often with males not going to safety, and ultimately we see more fatalities with males. So in this bar chart, you can see this bar graph. You can see again, blue is our male fatalities, and pink are female fatalities, and this goes from age range. So under 10, don't see a whole lot of lightning fatalities. Thankfully, you start to see that number go way up in males from age 10 to 19, and then you see the most fatalities for males that are in the age range of 20 to 29, and then it starts to fall off a little bit as males get older. For women, the numbers are fairly consistent between age 10 and age 70, really. So not a whole lot there, but trending is the higher. The stats show with trends that most of the lightning fatalities occur with males that are younger in that 20 to 29 age range, is when males are particularly vulnerable because they put themselves outside a lot and don't take the precautions that they need to. When we look at lightning fatalities by month, you can see the peak of lightning season is over the summer months in the United States. So things really start to ramp up in late spring, May into June. We see the most lightning fatalities by month in July. And this coincides with when we see the most lightning in the United States as well. And the numbers start to go down into the fall. So lightning strikes can occur in any month. We've seen lightning fatalities in every month. But in these cases, based on 466 cases from 2006 to 2022, it continues to stay consistent that most of our lightning fatalities are in the summer months. If we break it down by leisure activities over the last now 16 years, you can see, looking at this pie chart here, you can see that water-related fatalities are the biggest percentage. So this could be water skiing, fishing. We see a lot of fishing and boating-related fatalities. So you can see that that is about a third of the fatalities. And then other leisurely activities, sports would be the next highest, followed by camping, riding, gathering, and people at home. As we break it down by individual sport, you can see that soccer is about a third of the fatalities, golf another third, and then people running would be about a fourth of the fatalities, and then much smaller percentages for baseball, football, and disc golf over this period. Another service, which is a part of NOAA, has guidelines for outdoor venues to help keep people safe. It's very apparent based on our statistics that lightning is still killing people, 30 people a year, and it's very much preventable. So there are things that outdoor venues can do to help keep people safe from a lightning strike. That includes, first and foremost, designating a weather watcher. Your venue needs to have somebody that is responsible for monitoring the weather, being in communication with a meteorologist if you don't have a meteorologist there, and then someone that can trigger a lightning delay, that can say, okay, there's lightning within 8 miles of our stadium now, we need to stop play. Another part of our guidelines out there is that it's important to train your staff, make sure they know what to do when there's a lightning delay. Get information out to your fans, whether it be via the public address system or on a video display. And also designate shelters, have fully enclosed structures or vehicles where people can go so that they're completely safe from lightning strikes. NOAA's lightning safety guidance for outdoor venues was established through the Lightning Safety Toolkits. And so it's our recommendation that play is stopped anytime there is lightning within an 8-mile radius. And we have recommendations within the Lightning Safety Plan that you can complete within our toolkit that are for 15 and 12 miles as well. And I'll go into this in a little bit more detail. But as a bare minimum, we recommend that you call for a delay if lightning's within an 8-mile radius of your venue. So then for resuming play after a lightning delay, it's our recommendation that you don't resume the event until there is no lightning within 8 miles with storms moving away from the venue, and that there's no lightning observed for the past 30 minutes during the day, and no thunder observed for the past 30 minutes at night. So the reason we make that distinguishing note there between day and night is that lightning can be seen from hundreds of miles away at night. So lightning delays, if they were based on the sight of lightning, would last much longer than they needed to at night. So that's why at night you should use thunder as a distinguishing trigger for keeping an event delayed. And then lightning during the day will work, thunder will work as well during the day. So for eligible venues, this can work for all kinds of different facilities across the country. We've got outdoor large venues like stadiums, raceways, amusement, water parks, golf courses, and we actually have another Lightning Safety Toolkit specifically for golf facilities, which would include driving ranges, locations like Top Golf, miniature golf, and then golf complexes or golf courses, concert venues, and then also at smaller entities too, like Little League facilities. They can make plans using the Lightning Safety Toolkit as well. So the goal of having a lightning safety plan is to motivate venues to pursue a lightning plan. We want to have this. We have this toolkit out there so that you guys can make a lightning plan and have it be a fairly easy process so everyone knows what to do. We want you to utilize the Lightning Safety Toolkit and submit that to your local National Weather Service office. So I'm going to go into those details. As a part of making your plan, you need to have multiple ways to get weather information from the National Weather Service. So it might be via a chat. We have an NWS chat for our partners in emergency management. It might be via an email or text notification system. It might be via NOAA weather radio. It could be wireless emergency alerts on your cell phone. We want to have multiple ways for your venue to get weather information. It might also be via TV, keeping tabs on the local and national weather channels that you get at your venue. But the key is having multiple ways to receive information to help make a decision. So then when you make that decision, we have those decision support standards, what to do when you call for a delay, and how is that information communicated, where do people go? So that's part of the public notification plan. And then where do people go? That's the protection program, designating shelters. And then obviously you want to make sure everyone's educated that are visiting your venue, and then the staff as well that work in your venue. So we've established lightning radii rings. We think it's, and we recommend that all venues set up different radii rings that trigger different actions depending on how far a thunderstorm is away from the venue. So as I mentioned earlier, our suggested minimum, NOAA's lightning safety guidance, is that play is stopped by the time lightning is within 8 miles. But sometimes there's a lot of different scenarios that drive different decision making in the process in order to give people more time to get to safety. Sometimes, like in the summer, you can see storms that develop right along that 8-mile radius, and they may develop quickly and then diminish quickly and only be a lightning threat for a short period of time. And in those cases, it's okay to wait till 8 miles, but if that storm gets within 8, that's when you have to make a decision. And I know there's a lot of tough decisions you have to make sometimes where a storm is just grazing that 8-mile edge, but if it gets within 8 miles, that's when you need to stop play. we have the larger radii, the longer distances for 12 and 15 for more organized thunderstorms. So if you have a line of storms that are approaching the venue that have lightning, a continuous line, say with a cold front that's going to come through, there's a lot of confidence that that line is going to bring a lightning threat to your venue. So that's, and a lot of times a lot of lightning. So that's when you want to use larger radii, like 15 and 12 miles, to make decisions to stop play. And that way you can get people to safety and you have more time to get people to safety. A lot of times lines of storms like squall lines or bow echoes that come through, they're fast moving. So you want to give people a lot of time to get to a fully enclosed shelter. We have recommended radii for the toolkit of 15, 12, and 8, but you're going to want to come up with your own based on how long it takes people to get to safety at your venue. You may want to have larger radii than that. Maybe it's 30, 20, and 10. It all depends on the venue. So when you call for a delay, we, as part of this toolkit, we actually have canned messages that the public address announcer can make as an announcement during an event. And we have these in here as a template. You can actually modify them to fit the needs of what you would want your public address system announcer to say. And also a display board as well. So we've had some announcements that are confusing or the information just isn't accurate that a public address announcer might say just because they're not sure, they don't understand completely what's going on and what the protocol is. So it's important to make sure their language is tight and that it's very direct and actionable so that way people know what to do when there's a lightning delay. So we have defined what a safe structure is and examples of different safe structures. So you want it to be a large, substantial building that's fully enclosed. So when you send people on a delay and tell them to go to a shelter, it needs to be a fully enclosed building. Ideally, it's a grounded building. So that's what makes a building grounded is that the wiring directs any kind of electricity from a lightning strike down to the ground versus buildings that aren't fully grounded can have lightning damage if the lightning strikes another part of the structure. And fully enclosed, grounded structures are much safer than any structure. But generally, we just want people to get indoors. That really can increase the percentage of your chances of survival from a lightning strike. And it's rare, if ever, that a structure, someone gets struck and killed inside of a structure. And I can't think of any examples where that's happened. We ground structures to help protect them from getting damaged by lightning. So, but as far as a lightning delay, you want to send people to fully enclosed buildings on for example, a university campus. This could be nearby a nearby basketball arena or indoor practice facility or campus buildings. But a lot of times those may not be options. So vehicles are a good place to send people. Buses, because they hold a lot more people, but everyone's cars, you want to send people back to their vehicles and make sure they go inside. We have seen people lose their lives and get struck by lightning going back to their cars during a lightning delay and then just standing outside. So we want to make sure people go inside their cars. So again, with a fully enclosed structure, you have walls surrounding you on all sides. So that way you have that Faraday cage effect, like I mentioned before, like a vehicle where the lightning will strike around you, but not through the building. So there's sometimes safe structures that will be safer from a thunderstorm, but not completely safe. So that would be things that generally have the word shelter in it. So like picnic shelter, a beach shelter, golf shelter, rain shelter. Yes, they're going to keep you dry and keep you out of the rain or the hail. So they'll provide some protection, but lightning could still strike in from the side. So like a dugout, for example, is not a safe place to be because it's open on the side. Bleachers aren't safe because they're open. If they're not fully enclosed, they're not safe. A lot of concourses at stadiums are not fully enclosed and aren't safe. People will go into the concourses thinking they're safer, but they're not. Some concourses and stadiums are fully enclosed, but that's not always the case. Also, there are some different places out there that really just aren't safe at all. So, as mentioned with our myths earlier in the presentation, dugouts are completely unsafe. So they're open on one side, they're small, and a lot of times there's fences right by them that conduct electricity. So there can be nearby tall utility poles for light fixtures, and sometimes there can be water on the ground too, and electricity can travel quickly through water. So dugouts really aren't a safe place to be. Another example are tents. A lot of outdoor events have tents, temporary tents, or they may even see more permanent tents, but lightning can strike right through a tent. So those aren't safe. For vehicles, fully enclosed metal top vehicles are a safe place to be when lightning strikes. We've had vehicles struck before and people survived. Buses are another safe place to be. Unsafe vehicles would be like convertibles with the top down, or even if it's a fiber glass body with a cloth top. Cloth top would not be a safe convertible to be in. Golf carts are not safe, and then bicycles and motorcycles aren't safe as well. So after the delay, when the storms are moving away, you have to make that decision. Okay, it seems to be clearing up here. The storm, it's not raining here anymore, but when is it safe to resume activities? And so we break it down into two different scenarios. One is if you have a professional meteorologist either on site or one that you're conducting, you're having conversations with, and that's virtual, that you're talking to on the phone. That's one scenario. And then the other scenario would be if you don't have a professional meteorologist that you're consulting with. So if you do have a meteorologist that's either on site or providing a service to you virtually, and they have real-time cloud to cloud and cloud to ground data, then the event can resume if the following conditions are met. Lightning has moved beyond the 8-mile radius. The storm motion is taking the storm away from the venue and lightning activity away from the venue. And there isn't a threat for new lightning strikes within the 8-mile radius. If you have a meteorologist looking at lightning data, in these cases, that's when it's safe to resume your event. If you don't have a professional meteorologist to consult with, that you can always call the National Weather Service for an update. They're a resource out there. But if you don't have real-time lightning data or a professional to work with, a good rule of thumb is to wait 30 minutes after there's been no observed lightning or thunder during the day, or if there's been no observed thunder at night for 30 minutes, then you can go ahead and resume your activities. So we have a lightning safety plan out there that you go through all these different elements to tailor it and customize it for your local event. And so here's the process for completing a lightning safety toolkit. You can work with a warning coordination meteorologist like myself or a forecaster. They'll often reach out to their venues, but you can do this on your own too. If you want to reach out to your local weather service office, and then you will go in and fill out the toolkit on your own. And if you're not sure what to do, you can meet up with a National Weather Service team member to go through it together. And you'll fill out a Google form, which generates a PDF, and then an editable Google Doc and a Word document to make your plan. Once that form is submitted via Google Forms, it's sent to you as the user and your local National Weather Service contact that you list as part of the application. It also will notify our National Lightning Safety account. So a member of our national team will see your submission as well. So then you want to make sure your local office has seen that. So you'll reach out to them to let them know you've submitted your application to complete a lightning safety plan. They'll review that and provide input and feedback if needed, and then submit that for validation to the national team. At that point, if you're approved, you'll be able to have an official lightning safety plan. We can do a recognition ceremony process with that and recognize you for making your venue a safer place to be when lightning threatens. So here's an example of a recognition ceremony that we did with Bowling Green State University, and they were able to complete a plan for their football games and for their outdoor events. And so they were actually able to recognize them on the field during a timeout of a football game and do the lightning safety recognition, which was really cool that they had done the process and been recognized by us, by the National Weather Service, for completing that. We'll also give you a certificate for completing that. And there's signs that can be made. We have the artwork for signs that you can put out around your venue if you want to, that say "When thunder roars, go indoors" on them. So at this point, I want to take you through the lightning plan generator process through the Lightning Toolkit. So what you can do is you can hold your phone up and take a picture of this, or tap on through your photo mode. You can tap on this QR code to load our Lightning Safety website. It'll take you to the Lightning Safety Toolkit website, which will take you to here. And you can see this is the page for Lightning Safety Toolkits. And then you'll pick a toolkit that you want to do. Most will do the outdoor venue toolkit. There's some that may choose the golf facility, wilderness area, community, lifeguard, beach patrol, or maybe even boating and sailing. But for the majority of this group, you'll do the outdoor venue. So then you'll click on interactive form, and it will take you to our Google form to start filling out the plan. So to go through the plan, I'll go through and do an example submission for you here. You type in your email address. So this is your email. Then you type in the name of your organization. So I'm going to just do Charlie Test Stadium. Then you put in your full name, your full first name, then your full last name. Then you type in your phone number. Then you put in who is your local National Weather Service office. So if you're not sure which one it is, you can go to weather.gov and search by zip code, or click on the map, and that'll take you, if you click on your location, it'll take you to your National Weather Service office. So then you go in and choose your Weather Service office. So for us here in Louisiana, for Shreveport, here's the Shreveport office. Then you'll put your point of contact, who you're working with at the National Weather Service. So you'll put their name. If you're not sure who a point of contact would be, you can call your local weather service office and ask them. Normally it'll be your warning coordination meteorologist or a forecaster. So then you type in their email address. Then you'll take a phone number, which is normally listed on the National Weather Service's local office page, and you'll list that direct phone number. Ideally, you're going to want to find out what is the phone number that takes you directly to operations. So you can ask the National Weather Service what that phone number is. Your local office will have that number. There's public lines, but that will take you to a prompt, and then you have to press another button to get directly to a forecaster. So it's better to get the direct line. So once you find out what that direct line is, you put that in here. Then you'll select which type of toolkit, what kind of lightning safety plan you're going to want to fill out. So in this case, most cases, you're going to pick outdoor venue. Okay, so then by moving forward, by clicking yes here, you're saying that you're going to be populating a lightning safety plan, and you're agreeing to share this with your National Weather Service contact. And if you don't want to do that, say you just want to make an internal plan, you can use the Google Doc or the Word document version that can be downloaded from our webpage right next to the form. So that's another way. And you can even submit your plan to the National Weather Service that way too, by completing a fillable Word document. But this way is the easiest way, just to answer these quick questions, and it generates the plan for you. So you'll want to designate a weather watcher at your venue and put their name here. So in this case, we'll put Aaron Treadway as an example. That's just an example name. You'll want to figure out who that is and designate someone to do that. Aaron's our National Lightning Safety Lead. Then you'll want to put in a phone number for What is your venue weather watcher's phone number? Okay. Then what you'll want to do is look up the latitude, longitude for your location. So you can do actually a coordinate search by address. If you click on this link, it'll take you to the census geocoder, and you can put in an address. So for example, I'll put in our office address here, 5655 Hollywood Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, and then you can click on Get Results. So then this census page will generate your coordinates. So you can go in and you can copy and paste your coordinates for your longitude and your latitude. So we'll take and put in our longitude. You make sure you want to put negative in there. Make sure you have that minus at the beginning. And then latitude will be positive if you're in the United States. Then you put in the latitude there. So you put the latitude in and then the longitude. So then the next question is, how does your venue notify patrons of thunderstorms in the forecast? So this would be most frequently for larger stadiums, this would be via a public address system. It may also be by video display board. You're going to want to list how your venue would let patrons know that there's thunderstorms in the forecast. So this is going to be maybe before the event even starts. You just put out some information to let people know, okay, a lightning delay is possible today. So think about what you would do to make that plan. So then you will designate where there are fully enclosed structures to be used as shelters during a lightning delay. So this is just a list with commas. So you can put, for example, say campus buildings. You might want to designate specifically which ones that are going to be open. I'll put Charlie Arena for the basketball arena and buses. So just put them in there with commas, and this will generate a list. Then you want to set your lightning radii. So what is the question is, what is the initial distance in miles you would like to be first notified of lightning approaching the venue? So you can just type in a number here. You don't have to type in units. So you can put in 15 or 15 miles, 12, and then 8. Now, as I mentioned before, you can use larger radii. Some venues I know use 10, maybe even more as their minimum, and they might want larger radii beyond that. But it's good to have 3 different tiers, so that way you can have a different set of actions depending on how far away the lightning is. The next question is, does your venue use a commercial service for weather support? So this would be like a private sector provider that is providing you with updates on the weather. And this would be normally commercial services are services you have to pay for. So if the answer is yes here, you would then type in the example commercial provider's name. So whatever the name is of that company that provides it. And then you'd put in their phone number. So that way this can be used as part of your lightning safety plan. And if you need to call them, it's right there listed in your plan. Next question is, would your venue like on-site weather support from the National Weather Service during events? If you request that, we might be able to send a meteorologist out to your venue depending on the size and scope of your event. So it doesn't hurt to ask. And you normally need to ask for at least 3 weeks in advance. So a weather service plan with their staffing to be on site for an outdoor event. But it really, as soon as you know your schedule, if you think you want outdoors weather support, or on-site weather support from the Weather Service, let them know so they can make plans. The further out you let them know, the better chance there is of getting someone on site. And if they can't get someone on site, then we'll provide virtual support for your venue. So here you would list your local NWS office's direct line for weather support. So you'd want to find that out from your local warning coordination meteorologist or a meteorologist at the office. The next question here, it asks, or it puts in a default public address announcement for when thunderstorms are in the forecast. So what you can do is you can just utilize this and leave this answer blank, or you can copy and paste this and adjust it. So here you can see you copy and paste this in, and maybe you want to change something like here it says, those of you that wish to leave the venue for a safe structure or vehicle will be permitted to re-enter with your ticket stub. Maybe it's permitted to re-enter with your QR code or by scanning your ticket from a phone. You may want to change it. Same thing for when the delay occurs. So the first one is for when thunderstorms are in the forecast, and the second one is for what you want the public address announcer to say whenever there is a lightning delay. So when that occurs. So there's two modes, before and when they need to take action for the delay. So again, you can copy and paste this in and then make adjustments as needed to this. You can, if you want, designate where people need to evacuate to. It's really up to you to tailor and customize this as to what best fits the needs of your venue. So, I mean, you can change it however you want. You want to say, well, maybe you want to say instead of once the storm clears, you want to say once the thunderstorm clears. Whatever you want to change it to. But you'll still want the National Weather Service to review this to make sure it makes sense and that it's safe. So the next question is, does your venue have a lightning detection system? So there's lots of different providers out there, commercial providers that can set up lightning detection for monitoring at a venue, or maybe even a field mill that detects lightning there at your venue. So if the answer is yes and you have one, you can put yes here and then list the name of the system, whatever the company is that provides it, lightning detection company name. If the answer is no, that's okay. You don't have to have one. You can get virtual lightning support without having detection system on site. It's just going to come from a national network, like the National Lightning Detection Network. So the next question is, does your venue have access to a commercial lightning detection network? And if the answer is yes, then you'd want to list the name of that. And there are several different networks out there. The National Lightning Detection Network is one. There's a United States Protection Lightning Network, and there's also a worldwide detection network. We also have lightning detection via the GOES satellites as well. So depending on who your commercial provider is, that may vary. I can tell you that the National Weather Service uses the National Lightning Detection Network and also the Total Lightning Network as well to help us make decisions, along with the GOES 16 satellite. The next question is, does your venue have a subscription for weather alerting? So this would be, again, something that you could either subscribe from the National Weather Service. If you have an emergency management capacity, you can sign up for INWS, or through a commercial provider that will alert you when there are storms in the area or when there's watches, warnings, advisories issued for your venue. And then you can list who that company is. So you could put, if it's a free subscription for the National Weather Service, you could put NWS here. But if you're paying through a commercial service, you could provide that here. So. You can have both too. It's okay to have both if you get support from the Weather Service and from a commercial provider. I know a lot of venues that like to have multiple sources providing insight on their decisions for delays. The next question is, if you have a subscription for alerting, what is the phone number to reach them? So the next field you'll want to fill out is who is your local emergency management contact. So it's important to make sure that you have contact with your local emergency manager, whether it be the university emergency manager, the city emergency manager, or a county or parish emergency manager. Whoever that entity is, you'll want to know who that is and have that contact information, because they can help you by providing their local knowledge for emergency situations. And obviously that goes beyond weather. It could be hazmat, it could be fire, it could be police. You want to make sure you have that local emergency management contact there for your venue. So the next thing that we want to do here is, as we keep going here through the plan, again, you can get this through our Lightning Safety Plan generator. The next thing you want to do is fill in that local emergency management contact. So you can put in their name here. And their phone number. You want to put a slash between the name and phone number. Then you want to do the same for your local police contacts, fire contacts, and event staff contacts. So you'll put your police contact name, slash, and then their number. Fire department contact name, and then their number. And your event staff contact name and their number. If there's any other key contacts that you think you need to have listed on your plan, you'll want to put them in here. Then there's several checklists that are set up for you to fill out. So you'll want to check which data reception sources you use for your venue to get weather information. So if you have a lightning detection system, if you have a lightning detection network, mobile device, you're getting, if you have internet where you're monitoring weather information, and you have a subscription for alerts via the internet, if you have a NOAA weather radio, local TV, or a national network, radio station for monitoring, and then some locations have amateur radio as well. If you have something that's not listed here, you can list it in the other, check the other box and list that as a data reception source. For the venue's protection plan, again, you don't have to check every box here if you don't have all of these, but these are things, a checklist is meant to help you think through these things if you don't have them. So do you have lightning rods installed to help direct a lightning strike to the ground? Are there shelters that are designated and marked at your venue? Do you have a primary place to go, and then do you have a secondary place to go? Are there weather evacuation signs posted? You would check these. And then anything else that you think has to do with your venue's protection plan, you can put in the other box. The next checklist we have is for your public notification plans. So do you have public address announcements made? Is there a graphic that's already made for your video display board or graphics for lightning delays? If you think there's going to be a lightning delay sometime during the event, is there a graphic to prepare people for that? And then is there a graphic once the delay is called for that tells people what to do? Do you have sirens? Maybe some locations, if there's a tornado, for example, will have warning sirens. Voice-capable warning sirens are good too to make specific announcements. Does your venue have a TV override that would put a message out across all of the TVs that might be showing other messages or sports otherwise? Do you have a telephone tree away for making sure all of your event staff know what's on? Maybe it's a group text message, or maybe it's a email notification. We want to have some way to make sure all your event staff know what's going on. Is there a local alert broadcast system you can leverage? Do you have a pager system? If not a pager, maybe like it's a group text message system. A local radio broadcast to let people know. Text email alerts are a good way. You can get your spectators, or maybe it's the officials on the field, or the band director to sign up for text email message alerts. And then social media, we encourage our venues to put out information on social media so people know via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media that your venue uses, share the lightning delay information that way too. And then last, our last checklist here is to make sure that people that are at the venue are aware of the lightning safety precautions that are there. So you can have a venue staff safety training day. You can ask the National Weather Service to provide training on lightning safety and on weather safety in general. You can have an event lightning safety day to help spectators know what to do. A safety page if you generate programs that says what to do if there's a lightning delay and specifies where to go. Making sure you have public address announcements for awareness, and then plans coordinated with fire, EMS, and police that are on scene to make sure they know what to do if there's a lightning delay. And if there's any other ways that you want to make sure guests, staff, players, anyone that's in the venue are notified, you can list that in the other category. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to submit your application. So you click submit here. And then you get this message that says, thank you for completing a Lightning Safety Toolkit. At that point, you'll get an email from wrn.lightning@noaa.gov that provides you with the Lightning Safety Toolkit attached as a PDF and a link to a Google Doc. If you can't access Google Doc, let your weather service contact know and we'll download it as a Word document for you if you want to make further edits. So we'll wait for that email to come across. If you get your email and you look at the plan, you say, you know what, I don't like the way that I answered that, how it's displaying in the plan. You can click edit your response and it will take you back to the form and you can resume without having to fill it out over again. So at this point, you should get an email from the National Weather Service that shows your PDF. So it may take a few minutes for it to come through, but you should get an email that'll come from wrn.lightning@noaa.gov. So you want to look for that email. And if it doesn't come through, you can ask your National Weather Service staff. And so with the generation of the plan, I've got a notification here that someone has listed you as the contact on my end. I'm the Weather Service contact. But if you filled it out, you'll get a message that says, thank you for using the Lightning Toolkit generator, and here's your PDF. And so then at that point, you'll have a PDF, and it'll be filled in with your information. The edited information that you put in starts on page 1, where you can see the name of the stadium right at the top, and then it's in the top of each page. And then on page 3, information that you put in starts to get filled into the plan. So, for example, the weather watcher's name is filled in here. And so this plan comes out as about 12 pages, depending on how much input you put, but you can see all the information that you filled out from the form that shows up in your plan. And now you have a lightning safety plan with listed contacts, actions, and things to do. One thing I wanted to point out is how the lightning radii show up in this plan. So it has a section called during the event, and depending on what you put for your miles, it fills in the distance and then has specific directions of what to do at each radii. So if you wanted to even edit this in further in depth, again, you can go into a Google Doc and edit it that way, or also have the Weather Service download. You can download the Google Doc to a Word format if you can access Google Docs, but if you can't access the Google Suite, ask your Weather Service contact to download it and provide you with a document attached. So that completes the form generation. So at this point, we'll go back to the presentation. And if there are any questions at this point, I can be reached at charles.woodrum@noaa.gov. And here's a link to the Lightning Safety Toolkit. It's weather.gov/safety/lightning-toolkits. And that concludes the presentation on the Lightning Safety Toolkit. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Charlie. We appreciate your time today and your valuable insights. This presentation has been very informative. I hope our viewers have gained new knowledge and tools to help improve their weather safety plans, specifically lightning safety. If any of our viewers have follow-up questions, you can contact Charlie directly, or you can get in touch with us here at the NCS4. Thank you.